All right, your boy's back. It's Leon. I'm back with another real estate lunchbox. Real estate lunchbox where the culture meets real estate. And this is what I do. 20 years in the business, real estate investor, real estate broker, real estate agent, hard money lender, private money lender. I've worked in a real estate business and I've lived in Atlanta probably 25, 26 years. And if you are looking to move to Atlanta, don't hesitate to jump on. Well, first, like, subscribe, follow this channel. After that, there is a link in the description, which I put together a 20-page report on relocating to Atlanta. If you're going to be relocating to Atlanta or even in the city of Atlanta or surrounding areas, and you want to relocate within the city of Atlanta, this is the report for you. That's my 2026 guide. And of course, if you're looking for some fix and flip properties, we've got off-market fixer-uppers on our list, and that goes out every Friday. Excuse me to you guys. This Friday was a little late going out. But we want to get you up to date on all of the deals that's happening in the city of Atlanta. Now I covered all the business so far. Let's get the cracking, man. I hope you guys had a great weekend. I had a great weekend. I was in that place, man, this weekend where I started working. And I do this thing. I will work Monday through Saturday, even into Sundays. I've worked 7 days out the week before, and honestly, I think I got arrested this Sunday, because God kind of stopped me and was like, "You need to do you need to be like Chick-fil-A and have these off times. Matter of fact, you need to be like a restaurant and you need to shut off. You know what I mean by business. You need to stop at a certain time, you know, and why is it important? It's so much we're going to talk about today concerning why that's important. But it made me think about hustle culture coming up in Atlanta, business, entrepreneurship, the whole thing. So I'm not going to take long and go out, but I got a couple pieces I want to react to. And we're also going to talk about what's happening with the seniors in their homes, because we're in a place right now where there is a wealth shift that's happening, whether people believe it or not. Some people are struggling to pay their bills, struggling to cover groceries, basic things, but there is still a shift that's taking place. And I always like to make people aware of it, because when the market was shifting, man, in 2008, 2007, around that time, I came into the real estate market around 2006. But when the market was shifting around that time, crazy part about it is I wasn't aware. I was so new to it. Nobody came to me and said, "Hey, you need to be in a position to be an investor, a wholesaler, or something like that." It was a lot of deals that's happening. You want to start fix and flip. Nobody told me those things, so I'm gonna tell you. Um, I realize the more I do these broadcasts, the more I do these streams, and this stream is switching to Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Okay. And I'm doing Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I've been doing 5 days out the week, but I'm going to change it to Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, because on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I've got another channel that I'm going to be working a little bit more diligently on, and it's called The Real Leon Duncan. This is a one of one channel where I talk about some things I can't talk about on this channel, of course, because this is about real estate. This is about the culture. This is about mindset. And if I can do anything to help people win, not just my people that look like me, but just people, period, win in this game, I want to take my last 20 years of real estate and I want to talk to my 10-year self, my 5-year self, my 15-year self, my 20-year self, and tell them it's gonna be okay.
Oh no.
And if you've ever thought about real estate, if you're building, or if you're just kicking the wheels, like, how do I get in? I want to tell you it's going to be okay. Ah, you're welcome, man. Hey, you're welcome. You're welcome. Um, it's going to be okay. A lot of it is going to be okay. This market is going to shift. It's going to do the thing that it does. And at the end of the day, if you look at it for what it is, you can change your life. You can change your posture. And I'm really leaning heavy now on this life by design, man. I truly believe that we got to really get into building a life by design. It can't be a life that's just given to us. So we have to be more intentional about certain things. I know I'm working on being more intentional. I'm a lot more intentional than I was 20 years ago, of course, but more intentional, and then trying to show you why you need to be more intentional. Whether I don't care if you're not doing real estate, if you just are kicking the wheels, thinking about it down the line, the more intentional you can be, especially in this season, you can posture yourself to be a lot more successful when this season is over. Because it looks like, man, there's a scripture. It seems like we don't go through seasons, but I think Solomon, was it Solomon? Yeah, it's the Songs of Solomon. He said it. There are seasons in the book of Ecclesiastics. There's always different types of seasons. There's a season to plant, a season to grow. Uh, this, I believe, is a season for us to plant, to restructure, and to prepare for the next level of growth. Why do I say that? Because there's shift that's taking place with AI, all these different things, all these, and I don't get into all of it. I know we got a full video where we go in and I talk about a lot of that stuff. Um, but I do believe that this is the season where if you've never built anything before, if you don't have an entrepreneurship body, bone in your body, but you're just tired of this hustle culture, tired of this getting up to go to work every freaking day. I'm not telling you listening to this podcast will change that, but maybe it'll help you. Maybe it'll help you because there's no, my road is different from your road. That's the best way to put it. Everybody has a different lane. I had a mentor tell me, he said, man, failing is just me finding a individual lane because you're trying different things that people do. And you look at it as being fail. I hate he kind of tied it to that because I don't look at it as a failing. I look at it as learning. But if you just take it for what it is, you got to find your individual lane and you got to get in that lane and you got to rock with it. And regardless of what anybody's saying, regardless of any of that stuff, don't let people lie to you, especially when it comes to this social media thing, because there's a lot of guys out here in social that's talking a lot of crap, man. And I kind of don't believe that the experience that they have, that the words they're saying really lines up, one, with their experience, and two, that it's truthful, that is real. And you got to listen to it because I only listen to what I listen to. You got to hear it from your perspective. You got to open up your ears and really hear what they're saying and say, do I really want to live a life like that? So that's what living a life by design is for. And I had another mentor. They were big. Him and his partner were big on living a life by design. And I kind of saw how it played itself out because I ended up going to Las Vegas, me and the wife hanging out with them, with a couple other people that they spoke to, and going out to dinner, seeing how they structure their lives, seeing the way that it flowed, and just seeing them from a distance and being involved in a lot of conversations with them, even one on one. I can say right now, I just really want a life that's intentional by design, and I jumped on that boat and jumped off of that boat because entrepreneurship will do that to you. It'll do that. And we'll talk more about that because there's going to be a rise in entrepreneurship with this AI build out. A lot of people are going to get into it because making and creating things are so easy right now. I did a vibe coding um session, I guess you want to call it. I don't know what you would call it, but I was vibe coding. And if you don't know what vibe coding is, it's nothing technical. It's no people make it sound more greater than what it is. It's simply using AI to build websites, to build apps, to build funnels, even to make content in some ways. But this is really for really building things that will really take code to normally do. And I saw how I was able to make a site in 10 minutes. I saw how I was able to I actually was able in combined time to make under an hour to make 3 sites, 2 websites and 1 funnel. Well, 2 funnels and 1 website. And I knew the game changed because I linked it right to my CRM. And I said, it's changed. If you want to see what that looks like, just go over to my, what is it? I think it's the reload list. That's one that's showing right now. Go over to the relocation page. Link is in the bottom. And you can get that free guide and you'll see how that whole site was made just through vibe coding. Um, but I want to share this with you, man, because we're gonna talk some more about this. So let's get the popping. Let's get the cracking.
Oh no.
Let's rock. Okay, let's go.
If you don't have a lot of friends, you're most likely definitely going to become rich and successful. The people that have the most friends are literally the brokest and most miserable people. The people that literally need to seek validation 24/7. The people that allow just anybody into their life around them, around their kids, around their family. Like they just are scared of being alone. The richest people I know, the wealthiest people I know, the people that are driving Ferraris, Lamborghinis, Rolexes, these people barely have any friends. Do we have a lot?
Okay, let me. I put on the glasses because I'm getting in the zone, right? I don't feel like my eyes are. Whew. But yo, check this out, man. So I threw him up here, and I know he posing with his watch. All power to him. I ain't hating on him with that. He, even though it looks so structured or so set up, and I'm tired of seeing these guys sitting back in these Bentleys and Ferraris, and they got to give you these directions of life. But I understand why they do it, because a lot of people won't even listen unless they see, and that's the problem. Because you see this person and you want to imitate them, so you listen to what they have to say, or you want to glean from them. And a lot of people who sit there and do that don't have any great insight for you to begin with. They're trying to get the clicks and the views. But I'm going to rock with what he got right there, because I believe the substance, the context of what he's saying is so powerful. He's right. I do see, and I've seen this in real estate more and more, and I see it even more now. The more you are in controlling your relationships, the more you're better in controlling your relationships and keeping certain people out of your circle and keeping the right people in your circle. You know, the people that God kind of draws you to and you draw to, and there's that connection. Keeping those people in your circle will help you. Well, keeping the wrong people out of your circle will help you navigate certain situations a whole lot better. A whole lot better. And I give you a point. Relationships, even in Atlanta, need to be dealt with from a standpoint of, I'm bringing value. Do I really need these people around me when I'm bringing this value? Okay. I went to a networking event, and there were some people with value. There were most people with no value. Now, I'm not saying that they didn't have value, but what I am saying is that they did not articulate their value or present a level of value that you watching this podcast, watching this live stream, would actually stop and say, let me talk to you. Because I can go somewhere and hear somebody talk to me about a digital card or talk to me about the service they have to offer, but that doesn't add value. Value is when you solve my problem, you bring a solution that will solve my problem, not stuffing your solution down my throat. That's not solving the problem. That's not adding value. But at the same time, and at the same time, I know that the amount of people that's in your circle, whether you're in Cali, whether you're in New York, drop a low too. Where you from? You're in Cali, you New York, Texas, Florida. I don't care if you're in the Midwest. Say where you're from. Drop it in the chat. Leave a comment. It doesn't matter. But wherever you are from, wherever you chilling at right now, wherever you hailing from, the reality of it is you got more people in your life than you really need to have in your life. And for that reason, you can find a lot of your successes will slow down because you got people hating on you that you don't even know hate on you. It happens so much in real estate. And people say it, people don't want to recognize it, but our lives change and adjust, and we go different directions because of the way we're influenced by those people that are in our lives. So you got to watch your influence, and watch it even more while we're in this season right now, when there's so much shifting that's going on. Some people aren't really where you want to be, and then they still give you advice. You still allow them to speak into your life. And I get it. They're your friend, or they look good, or they may look confident, feel confident, it looks confident, or you may think they know what they're talking about. But you ask them specific questions. Have you done this before? They've never done it before. Never at all. Watch who you have speaking into your life in this season.
Acquaintances and people that we do business with, of course, but friends, hanging out on a Sunday night, cracking open a cold one, hanging out, driving cars with the sunset. No, not too many of those. Because at the end of the day, you really don't even know somebody until you know somebody, until you hang out with somebody. I think you really don't even know your own girlfriend, your own wife, until you live together, in my opinion. You can hang out with that person all day until you live together. You don't really know them. You can have friends.
He's right. Until you live together with them, you don't even know them. And I'm speaking for 100% experience. In the city of scammers, I've made friends with people and I had no idea they were scammers. I'm not talking about business relationships because if I got a deal and you got a buyer, we're going to start talking and we're going to strike up a way to make money off of that deal. Anybody in real estate, y'all know what I'm talking about, okay? But when we get past that and we go into the personal portion where you take some of those relationships into your inner most holy of holies, you got to stop it. You got to stop it. And more importantly, when you rocking and you rolling and doing what you do, you need to not entertain the friends that don't add on to what you actually do. Meaning they're not going to help you find more real estate deals, flip more property, find more assets, teach people, or do anything like that that you're aspiring to do, whether it's your real estate money, agency, or becoming an agent, or becoming a loan officer, or dealing with hard money. You have to watch these relationships. You have to, because the fewer your relationships, honestly, the higher you go. And why? I didn't understand it. I struggled with that and understanding that for years. Like when I say years, somebody could tell you, say, "Oh yeah, I get it," but I don't care, man. Listen, I was a C student, okay? Yeah. I did some great things and I've done some good things and I'm thankful for my life. But yeah, I was a C student, okay? So it took me a second. I'm talking to all you CB students out there. I was a CB student, all you CB students out there. Don't hit your head and have to figure it out on the back end. It's not your network is your net worth, but your network doesn't have to be huge to be your net worth. And we're talking more from business right there. And I tell you, even watch that in business also, because what shines and what's glitter isn't necessarily gold. A lot of times, shoot, and I can't even crack on silver because silver is up, right? Silver was down at 25.30 when I was buying it. Now it's like 70, 75. What glitters isn't gold, okay? It could be brass, all right? But at the end of the day, bro, that's more important. That's more important than anything else. Anything.
It's all day until you have a sleepover. You go on a trip. Oh my gosh, a trip will really expose and show what somebody really is and what they aren't. I promise you guys that right now. And especially to really know your friends once money involved. How many people can you really call your friends that'll bail you out of jail? How many people that you can borrow $1,000 from right now? You get what I'm saying? Like, now, broke people can hang out with everybody in the whole world all day long, but rich people will choose their friends very selectively. In addition, some rich people rather be friends with their enemies than a random person. I promise you, it's not even funny. It's that deep, but it comes down to.
Yeah, it's that deep. Because at least your enemies, you heard that saying, keep your enemies close, your friends close, your enemies even closer. At least, at the very least, if they're your enemy in the business space, you can at least learn from them. If they're doing something great, you steal shamelessly. There's a book on that. Steal shamelessly. You can do that. But boy, when they broke and they in your space, and there's nothing wrong. Everybody goes through that phase of being broke. They want to say, "Oh, you're broke. Yeah, you don't have any money." That's cool. But he or she should be figuring out or in a place where they can work on their wealth, change that place. It doesn't mean in your space helps them grow and change. That's when they're putting their trust in you and reliance on you. And as you grow and you get more, they're the ones that are going to be hating on you. You heard what I said? Like, they're the ones that are going to be hating on you because they see your growth and they tied their success to your growth. And that seems crazy, but it's so true. And it's the mentality of a person. I tell people and I keep saying this, you can get in a course and learn real estate from the top bottom. You can know the words, you can know definitions of things, you can know subject tos, owner financing, buyer seller market, all these great things. But one thing they don't give you is mindset. That's the one thing you don't get. The industry is crooked for that reason, I feel, because people get in and they see the exterior adornments, the cars, the houses. The person may come in. One dude came into this networking event, and he was looking like he was Tony Montana. I mean, really rocking up in that joint with the gold, the silver. He like, oh yeah, yeah, it's me. You know, you don't know me. I'm like, bro, I don't know you, and honestly, I don't care to know you because you're leading with the wrong things. So you got to sit back and look and analyze what's really going on.
Who you're around when you get down to that level of wealth or that level of accomplishment. Broke people who got nothing to lose, nothing going on, they can hang out with anybody and everybody. They don't care if they're being disrespected. They don't care if that person is a bad person in real life. They'll just hang out with anybody because they want that validation. They want that feeling that they're not alone. So remember, if you don't have a lot of friends, you're probably going to be extremely successful and you're going to have a very peaceful life. As always, make sure you like, follow, and comment.
Peaceful, a very peaceful life. And that's somewhere along the line you started believing, or you probably never thought about it, that peace should actually be in your life before money gets there. You heard what I said? Like, what I love about my life, it is not that I have access to a bunch of money, which I really don't. So I'm just like you. Like, I work and I go and I grind. I just do things a little different, and money just flows a little faster, and it's just because of the streams that are built. But honestly, I would trade if I have a check that comes, and I know this from experience. Some of y'all may think I'm crazy. If I was going to get a check for 5K, but I know tied to that 5K was going to be the worst experience that I have, and coming out of that experience, yeah, I may learn some things, but I'm like, damn, I'd rather go to someone, get the answers, or watch and see the outcome than to experience that discomfort that I didn't have to go through for money. That discomfort is a robbing of my peace. And when we don't prioritize our peace, and we're going to talk some more about this, the rest, then we're going to find ourselves in a place where we do anything and everything for money, and we don't have the first thing first, which is your peace. Because in that place, you see deals. That's where you see the deals. That's when you see opportunities, whether it's real estate or off of real estate. Doesn't matter at all. That's where it is. So let me throw this up in here. Let's talk about this. No, let's not even get into this first. Let's do this one first. So, escaping the rat race. Another thing, we're going to talk about this. Hold on, let me let this play. Go ahead. Escaping the rat race.
It's a blueprint to actually creating the life you've always wanted. Escape the rat race. Most people work for 40 years, retire broke, wonder what went wrong. Here's how you can actually escape the system now. Number 1, you want to make money fast. You can't escape a 9-to-5 saving pennies. You need high income skills, marketing, sales, e-commerce, something that prints cash. Number 2, scale and multiply.
Okay, so she's jumping into this. I'm gonna tell you. Yeah, movement of money real fast does help build. The whole concept is this. One thing I got hold of, and I think I wish I would have got this like 10 years ago, probably 15 years ago. But people grow, you develop. You do 10 years working with a company, and you think you leave, you're like, oh, I don't have anything. Oh boy, I got to go find another job. I don't have skills. That's a lie. You do. Everything you could possibly need in your life is in your home. It's in your house. It's in you. It's in you. Answers to questions, skills, your next job, the thing that will keep you from grinding, hustle culture, stress, how we gonna make this work every day? Oh yeah. It's in your house. Like I keep thinking about the story of the girl, the woman who had the vessel of oil, and she went to the prophet and told the prophet, hey, my husband died. They're going to take my sons. They're going to put them into slavery. What do I do? Because he owes a lot of debt. The prophet tells her, hey, what do you have in your house? Asks her, and she says, I have only a vessel of oil. What? Go borrow some vessels and begin to pour that oil into it. Now, that's a supernatural thing that happened in that story. But that story has a very practical application. He didn't say go down. It's some practicality in there. He didn't say go down the street, go to this place, beg some, and try to get money or loan money. He said, no, what do you have in your house? We have to assess our skills, and don't downplay it. Don't let nobody fool you. You've got something, or you've solved some problem that someone else is going to need, and you have a skill that you developed even in high school. A skill that you developed that you can use to leverage during a time of uncertainty.
Which don't settle at one stream of income. Reinvest, ads, businesses, assets, put money back into it. Of course, make more. Number 3, build systems. Again, the wealthy don't trade time for money. Use automation, teams, investments, create income streams that run without them. If you don't start now, you'll blink and be 40, broke, working paycheck to paycheck, is trying to escape the rat race.
So by the end of this video, you're either going to think I'm a genius or an idiot. And both of your opinions might be true, actually. But I'm going to tell you why. Okay, hold on. I quit my job. I emptied out my 401k. I sold everything that I owned in Florida. Now that sounds crazy, right? For somebody being only in their 40s. I wasn't happy. I'd been working in a hospital for 10 years, clocking in and out every single day, absolutely miserable, depressed, seeing all these people sick on a daily basis. And I just could not find the positivity. I could not find the good. I kept feeling like, our system is making these people sick, and then we're trying to help them, but then, we give them pills and then they get other side effects. And, I'm literally watching this unfold over 10 years, and I saw my future. I saw me getting caught up, just as so many of my other coworkers have in this system, where we're going to end up no better than these patients laying in the bed. So I said, all right, well, this is not going to work. What else do I have? What's most valuable? My time, my energy, my creativity, my love, my flow, my passion. And I have long forgotten about that due.
Now, I'm going to stop her real quick. There's always been this conversation about passion and how does it fit in. I saw a mentor again, gave me this really cool layout diagram. It's a Japanese, what is it called? I'm going to get to it. I'm going to put it up here. But either way, in the program, in there, you draw circles. And when you draw a circle, I'm going to put it on the screen when we repost this. You can see where you have a skill. You can lay out your skill. You can lay out your passions, okay? What makes you money right now? And in addition to that, as you flow through this circle, you get to the final spot of what you do that is a passion, that has a skill tied to it, that makes you money, that will allow you to now focus on that, what you should be leaning on that. And that will change your life, that would allow you to build income. I give you a perfect example. I learned how to sell when I was, selling the basics of sales when I was doing retail sales in high school. I worked 2 jobs, the Structure and Gap. Remember when the Structure was around? Remember, if you don't know what the Structure is, Structure was just like the Gap, just another clothing store, out of business right now, almost like the Gap. But I went and I learned how to do retail sales. That grew into now doing door-to-door sales, which later grew into tech sales, which later grew into real estate sales. But the sale portion, which started with customer to person, business to customer, grew to B2B, which is business to business. I'm representing a business. We sell to another business, which is business. Then later on grew to business to customers, right? Again, just a different level, a higher income, a higher ticket sales. That's it. Just a higher sales ticket. That was still selling. My brother got his from going door to door selling newspapers or selling magazines when we lived in Philly. But we got that selling skill. And I enjoy talking to people. We both love talking to people. Now we got selling. We've got people skills, which are emotional IQ. We combine those together. Hey, why don't I do some real estate? Hey, why don't I do some podcasting? Hey, why don't I do this in tech sales space? So now you can use it and direct it in a direction that will allow you to begin to build an intentional lifestyle and get out of the rat race, which is what I believe we all should be going for. We all should be going for. I don't say do real estate. I say find your individual lane and knock it out. And she's right. I can see how the lives of people older than me, and I've had that experience. I've worked and done deals with 80-year-old Jewish guys, 80-year-old white multimillionaires, 60, 75-year-old rich black guys, because this is not a color thing. Their life was built on design, okay? Using their strengths and weaknesses, sometimes boring businesses that they did, but it allowed them to leverage and buy real estate. And they lived it at the pace they chose to live it, using their passion.
To children and career and job and money and society and chasing this facade of, having more and more and more. And I could not keep doing it to myself. I was making myself sick. So my youngest turned 18. Now I had found love, good love, after a long period of bad love, but good love. So, when you find the right person, it takes all of your powers and it doubles them. And he wants the same thing I do. And I no longer wanted to stick with that mentality of working to live instead of living to work. I wanted my time back. I wanted my life back. So we came up with a plan. We paid off all of our debts and everything just completely lined up. And now, we have several years where we don't have to work. And this is the idiot part. We don't have insurance, but I'm betting on my health. You know why? Because I paid so many years into medical insurance and I never used it. Nobody talks about how many.
Yeah, at some levels, that medical insurance is a straight up scam. I think it's a straight up scam in some levels because most people don't use it. Now, there are outlining situations where you have kids that get cancer young. You have kids that do many things. I mean, things happen to them young. Even adults, there's things that happen to them young. You have to know yourself. I hate it when people tell me, oh, don't never do that. This is what's going to happen. Know yourself. Some people know that their family suffers from some type of physical ailment or some type of disease is prevalent in their family. Then protect yourself. Like, you might need a policy. You might need to have a deductible that's reasonable based on where you're at. But I don't think what she's saying is really off at all. Those are the things I feel kind of trap you to a system or to a place, because you're paying car insurance, but you're never in a car accident. You're paying home insurance, but guess what? Ain't nothing happening to your house except for the guy that knocks on your door and says, hey, you had a storm, we can change your shingles. Okay. But outside of that, you got to know yourself and where you're at.
Years you have medical insurance, if you're a healthy person, you don't use it. It's sitting there doing nothing. So I'm like, you know what? Forget that. I don't need insurance. If something happens, I'll figure it out. Because I paid so much into a system that I never got anything out of. I paid so much into a car insurance that I never got anything out of. And I'm so tired of paying into these systems just in case, out of fear of something happening. So I said, forget it. I'm done. You know what? I don't need that.
You grab what she said, out of fear. A lot of people are doing stuff right now out of fear. Like AI is coming out of fear. I don't know what I'm going to do. Out of fear. We live in a fear-based society. And I tell people we do. We don't live in a faith-based society regardless, because there's many reasons I say we don't. But we don't live in a faith-based society. Even though if you go to church, you're like, yeah, faith, America's for God, all that great stuff. Guess what? You make decisions out of fear, even though you say you're a person of faith, or you live in a faith-based society. And it's worse when the government says this is mandatory. They're saying you got to have mandatory fear, mandatory insurance, mandatory license, driver's license insurance, car insurance, mandatory house insurance, mandatory. We want to keep you in a place of fear. So you gotta do this. I don't care if you live out there in a rural area. I don't care if your closest neighbor is a mile away or 2 miles away from. I don't care. You might get struck by lightning, or a house might get struck by lightning. And guess what? We don't want your house to burn down. I'm like, shit, if I'm 2 miles, if I'm an hour out the city, if I'm living rural out the city, which is the next move we're going to make, We're gonna move further out. Burn the shit down. No, I ain't gonna say that. At that point in time, I probably would have, I'll have home insurance simply, for multiple reasons. But honestly, all jokes aside, like, damn, can't you see? Like, a lot of this stuff is fear based.
Is it risky? Yeah. I'm taking a bet on myself. I'm taking a bet that I can figure out in several years in a very relaxed, beautiful setting while living my best life, while I have peace and no stress. I will figure out how to make money. But there's no rush. I clocked out. I'm done. You guys can have it. You can have your Stanley Cups. You can have whatever. Keep it.
And I think when I listen to this, I listen to her talk about, you hear what she just said, make money. Like, I don't want to, like, I can focus on making money then. It goes back to what I said at the beginning. You got to focus on your peace and there's a scripture that says, let peace rule like an umpire. That means it says nah, or it says safe, or it says no, or you get that little feeling inside. Women, y'all get that feeling like, I don't know about that dude. I don't know about him. Dudes, y'all get that feeling, something ain't right about her. All these little things, I believe, and you can believe what you want to. I'm only going to put you hip to the things that I know. I believe that that's God in me telling me, stay away. Every freaking time I didn't listen to my peace, I got jammed up. That's it. And so when you put the money first, you're literally saying my peace is not as important. I got to pay this bill. And we know, I'm not telling you don't pay your bills. I'm not telling you don't do that. Maybe you may need to like calm down and control your emotions first before you say, I got to go do this because I got to get this bill money. A lot of times it's already set up for you. God has already mapped it out for you. He cares regardless of whatever you think. Okay. He cares. I believe he cares about every single human being on this planet, even the ones that wiles out and do what they do. So what? But take a second and exercise emotional intelligence and control it, put it under, and what is your heart telling you to do? Because you may not need to borrow money from that person to do it. You may need to do something else. That's the reality.
I just want off the treadmill. That's all. And so I guess I'm an idiot because I have so many people in my comments being like, how can you? Whoa, you're dumb. Why would you? I gave up a great career making fantastic money to bet on myself. Kind of crazy, right? Really stupid, I know. Find your joy, guys.
Nah, I don't think she's crazy. I gave up a 6-figure job to go drive Uber because I believed so much that in my heart that I needed to be in the real estate space, and I was in the corporate sales space, mid-management. So I walked in and I said, okay, here's my iPad. I'm leaving the management. First I had to leave being a manager. I'm going to work as a normal, just like an employee. I'm stepping down. You know how much we pay you? Yeah, I'm going to go work I'm going back to the sales force. It took me a couple months. I'm like, okay, I am done with the sales force. I'm going back to real estate. And I just went and I told my wife, I said, hey, babe, this is what I want to do. Just before I went in and shut everything down, please. Just put it in right order. I need to go back to real estate. Okay. See, when you got a good partner, when you pick right, they'll see that vision. Pick right. Hint, hint, like she said, I spoke to my spouse. Pick right. You'll be able to navigate a lot of that crap. And she gave me the open door, and that changed my life. It allowed me to make $28,000 my first year. Yeah, it was rough, but I believed that was where I needed to be, and it shot my income up to 6 figures. Boom. Now you into doing multiple 6 figures, 100,000, 200, 300,000, and you feel more peace. You're not in that place where they're snatching every bit of creativity and ounce of work and energy from you. Man, hey, that's my take on it. And you can do it however you choose. Be led by the force of Luke. Oh, snap. All right, cool. So I'm gonna take a break real quick on this. Let's go ahead and roll over to this. Boom. Let's rock with that. Man, wherever you from, put it in. I want to see Cali, New York, Philadelphia cat. 26 years in Atlanta, man. I'm gonna tell you one thing. Living in Atlanta changed my life, regardless of whatever these people tell you about it. I just had to take the risk. Some people came and they followed me. I have friends that followed me down here 26 years ago. And the craziest part is some of them could only last about a month or two and they had to go back. You got to know that you're supposed to be at a certain place before you just start rocking and following people. That's why I'm always about following, like, find that get validated and don't seek people for the validation. You know, like, get validated by God. Like, don't, like, understand he validates you, bro. Like, there's validation. Even your parents didn't validate you, God validates you. You know, mom don't, dad don't, God still validates you. Don't let your friends validate you. I'm gonna throw this in real quick because I saw this and then my neighbors selling their house. They're older folks too. And I wanted to listen to this whole deal. Let me watch it with you guys because I just pulled it in. But it was very interesting, especially when we're in a place right now. So seniors are struggling. Senior housing is struggling. Some of them paid off their mortgages, but they still got to deal with the taxes. They still got to deal with life.
Now, we know we talk a lot about building affordable housing, but there's also a critical need to preserve existing affordable housing, especially for our seniors. You know, people over the age of 50 are now the fastest growing group facing homelessness, but many are struggling with the rising cost of repairs, of insurance, property taxes. Well, Habitat for Humanity reports 19 million older adults live in homes that are in disrepair. So we talked to a local group stepping up to help while also facing mounting challenges.
I'm just overwhelmed. This is so much more than ever.
So we've heard the message that the baby boomers are the largest wealth class in our country. I think Gen Z, larger than baby boomers, not as wealthy. Of course, the baby boomers holding on to all of it right now. Gen Z, some of them can't even buy houses or at a good discount or a good number. And that's coming to a stop pretty soon. But hey, and we hear the argument. I've heard it on the insurance side, the financial services side. Hey, you gotta cater to them. It's a good amount of them that are really, really struggling, bro. Like they're really trying to make ends meet. They don't have the accessibility to the energy, but to actually go out there and physically work. So they're struggling. But I'm a believer, and I told you this already. Work from the inside out. The graveyard is full of people with great ideas, great concepts that were never used because they were looking for their success to come from outside. They were looking for somebody to do it for them when God gave them everything to be able to do it in connection with him from the beginning. Okay, let's rock. Come on.
Ever expected.
Linda Reynolds feels like angels showed up at her house this Friday morning.
This morning, God descended upon my house in the form of servolution. And he is repairing things that I have not had the ability to repair for years.
The 66-year-old bought this fixer-upper in Azle 11 years ago. She knew it needed work, but she thought she had time.
But I got hurt on the job and lost my employment.
Over time, she became overwhelmed by the needed repairs, especially the leaking roof.
I would have 10 inches of water.
After chipping away at her savings, running out of options, she asked for help.
I dropped my pride. I walked into church on Sunday morning, and after service, I asked, who's in charge of servolution? I need to talk to them.
And how to build this one better.
That would be Jason Malowiski.
So our whole purpose in life is pretty simple. Love God, love people, and restore hope.
The husband, father of 5, who works full-time at Lockheed Martin.
Isn't that like, dude, love God, love people, restore hope. Love God, love people, restore hope. That's it. I think when you love God, you understand that you first start from and this is the crazy part. I had to study this out to really understanding loving God really starts with loving yourself, because God is actually in you and he made you unique and like marvelous. And when you hold on to that and you grab hold of that and who you are in his sight, you end up loving him. You get what I'm saying? Because you love what he did for you and how he made you. So when I heard that, I'm like, dang, that's dope. It is. Love God, love people, because now then you can love people. Because I live, bro. I honestly, it's plenty of times I ain't love people. I just was like, them niggas need to get knocked out. Oh no. I became a lot more pliable when I started to understand the first principle. Oh, God values me. But I think that's dope, though.
While also leading this nonprofit that, among many services, handles major repairs for seniors, veterans, people with disabilities, and single moms.
We help folks age in place. So now in 2026, we see a trend where insurance is a luxury, not a requirement. So a lot of people are having their roofs lapse. They have leaky roofs, foundation shifting, siding decaying on their houses. They need, as they age, they need wheelchair ramps on their homes to get in and out of their house.
What he sees in Tarrant County reflects a much bigger issue researchers are tracking nationwide. Most older adults live in housing built before 1980.
We worry about older adults who are, as you noted, living on a fixed income, especially in this moment when cost of repair, both supplies and the workforce, those costs are increasing.
I interviewed Samara Sheckler, a researcher with Harvard's Joint Center for Housing Studies. Her team analyzes what's being called the dual burden of housing and care. She says the majority of older adults are not able to afford both their housing costs and care costs at the same time.
If an older adult can't afford to maintain their home, because that can have really serious implications. So from an economic perspective, we know that home equity is the largest source of wealth for most older adults, and unmet repairs can chip away at that equity. Unmet repair needs can also have health implications. So we worry about fall risks from loose railings or steps. We worry about mold, for example, that might aggravate a cardiovascular condition, among all kinds of other issues. Poor home condition can ultimately aggravate isolation because people might be uncomfortable about the condition of their home. They may not be inviting their family and community into their home.
And just as Malowiski noted,
yeah, that's a big thing right there. That's crazy. I wish there was some type of program that they would actually discount businesses that went in and did this for older folks. And I think it should be. When we keep talking, like when I say discount businesses, meaning like give them some type of tax write-off, some type of discount, some type of incentive to go do it. Because that's a problem that clearly needs to be solved. Like not all seniors or baby boomers are wealthy. We all know that. That's common sense, right? And they say 40% of that age group has their home paid off. I'm thinking like, what about the other 60%, right? That really can't make it. You get them in situations where they're relying on reverse mortgages to take care of things. Now they got a bill, that needs to be taken care of, or they pass and they have that reverse mortgage and their heirs have to sell the property in order to pay for the mortgage that they put intentionally on it in order to just live, just to survive at that age. When we find and I keep saying this and I'm going to say it again, you'll probably hear me say it a couple times throughout this stream. The reality of it is when we can solve other people's problems, our problems are solved also. And that is the entrepreneur teaching that I did not quite get until years later of being an entrepreneur. I mean, having made hundreds of thousands of dollars. You're like, how do you do that? Because we're going to talk more about that, because there's a hustle culture, but it's a hustle culture that we have without a purpose-driven hustle. So now it becomes an empty hustle and you're working to get something and you're not really meeting the needs of the people that's around you like this. So you can't be in an overflow or constant flow of your needs being met. That's the way the system is designed to work. But no, we look towards the government. We look towards people we put into place. We look towards politicians. We look towards the church. We look towards all these different things to meet our needs instead of saying we got something to contribute, and that thing we have to contribute will actually bring in the value. And then sometimes it's just, who can help me? Somebody has this concept down. Can they help me? You know?
In many places around the US, but especially Texas, Florida, and California, homeowners are increasingly having a hard time keeping up with those skyrocketing insurance costs.
A recent Lending Tree report shows 17% of homes in Texas are uninsured, jumping 7.1% between 2023 and 2024. More homeowners are taking the risk, but when disaster hits, many struggle to find support.
I think it's important to note that we do not have in this country a comprehensive federal repair assistance policy. What that means is that all residents have to rely on a patchwork of regional programs, and this patchwork can leave a lot of gaps, and a lot of the programs are too small to help many or the majority of the applications they receive.
Like Servolution, which has a wait list of 30 homes, but works feverishly to close the gap even as costs rise.
Fundraising is really hard as a nonprofit, and I'm going to focus a little bit on post-COVID, right? The price of a 2x4 has tripled, and that just goes exponentially for every other material that we need to help these homeowners stay in place. So we desperately need sustainable monthly donors to help execute a program like this. Many programs have shut down, it's shifted focus. So it's really hard, but we are doing it, and God is making a way.
All of this.
And that's it. So I'm a believer. This is me, okay? I'm a believer, but I'm also a believer of this, okay? That we are designed to help each other. Like I just said earlier, in that way, in a form. When these nonprofits shut down and they can't do anything, it's because my personal belief is more people are looking towards the government to subsidize this, and you have people with skills and the ability to be able to do it. That really, it needs to be changed. They need to have some incentive or something to incentivize their hard work or their skill in helping these people. And that's what the government should be doing. Incentivizing that, not penalizing them, not making it harder, not forgetting the people that actually made this country. It doesn't matter about color. I'm talking about age right here from that standpoint. And when we can grab hold of that, I think we change a lot of different things, especially in a real estate space. Man, a real estate space is one. Greed is rampant, bro. Is rampant.
Siding that's up here.
Reynolds Home is their 400th project in 10 years and one of 17 crews transformed simultaneously in a Good Neighbor Blitz weekend, a huge effort they pull off every 6 months. Checklists for each home show how they make it happen with the help of volunteers, donors.
Through organizations like Christian Brothers, the Home Depot Foundation, they lean in pretty heavily to help us, and we're so blessed.
They do more than repair homes.
In a world today where everything is dark and negative, we have an opportunity to really shine our light for Jesus.
Lifting the burden of repair has given Reynolds room to breathe and dream again. She's always wanted to open her home to young girls to teach sewing and gardening classes. A dream once seemingly impossible, now in reach.
That is dope. That's dope.
I'm just so thankful.
The Federal Road to Housing Act includes a pilot program that would offer grants and loans to moderate to low-income homeowners and landlords to help stabilize our nation's aging housing stock. Now, the bill so far has passed the Senate, but it still needs to go through the House. I've put a list of local repair programs inside of the story for you on NBCDFW.com.
Yeah, and I think that's I've worked with Habitat for Humanity. I've went out there and built homes for new people wanting to, get a home. They have a great program, or repair a home. But doggone, man, I know already that what's coming down the line for this shift with AI, it's going to affect our older people. It's going to affect them regardless of whatever we believe. But we do have the gifts, the tools, the abilities to be able to help them. Okay. Not everybody's sitting down on a bunch of money, bro. You got to realize it. A lot of them are just trying to make it work. just like you. How do the quickest way to get to where I want to be at is to help somebody else get to where they want to be at, right? Right? And some of y'all actually want to probably get into the real estate space. Look at me, I'm flipping that. If you do, or you want to do content, I've got a 60 days to monetize. We're able to monetize the channel in 60 days and start making money through reactionary content. And I want to show you how I go about doing it. You know, link is in the description. And if you're moving to Atlanta, check out the relocation packet. That's free. I give it away. The value of it is I went through, checked everything. It just wasn't Chat GPT generalized. No, we had to look at it, and I had to say, if I was moving in 2026, what information would I need to know? I'm going into Georgia. That's free. That's out there for you. All right, support the channel. Jump on our off-market property list. All right, cool. So, talking about relocation, speaking about relocation, damn, I had to do this, man, because I'm a first, let's put context. I'm going to give you context. I've rented places in Atlanta as a landlord. I've been the renter in places, Atlanta and surrounding area as a renter. I've helped people rent places. Okay. I've stayed in some of these apartments in Atlanta. And I'm going to just tell you that there are some places in Atlanta, apartments that you don't want to stay in. And after I saw this, I had to say, I'm probably, and I wouldn't do that, but I was inspired to in some way include some names of apartments that you need to stay away from. I just didn't want to do that. I figured I'm just going to do the content, put it out there, and let y'all make your decision. Let them tell you what these apartments are. It's not that I'm being a coward. Some people can speak to it better than me. I know. Some of y'all living in some of those apartments right over restaurants, Buckhead, Midtown. Y'all know the roach issue. Downtown. Y'all know the vermin issue. Yeah. I kind of feel the only way we do this, in doing this, that's the only way we begin to hold people accountable. Some of these apartment complexes need to be held accountable.
If you are looking for somewhere to move to in Atlanta, Georgia, do not move here. This is a series that I've started where we talk about all the horrible apartment complexes in the Atlanta metropolitan area. Before we get to this next apartment complex, I want to say that this is all alleged and that this is based upon my experience as well as anyone that have contributed to my DMs with their personal experience. So your personal experience with one of these complexes may vary. Let's get into it. The next apartment complex is Sky House. Do not move here. I would not have known any better. I would have thought that this was Section 8 housing. That would be an insult to Section 8 housing. Anytime you're searching for an apartment and you find that you can get a penthouse for $1,600, as soon as we got off the elevator for the tour, y'all, I'm talking the gnats. The gnats slapped me in the fucking face. What's crazy is that you had residents with cups of vinegar outside of their door. Cups of vinegar outside of their door to try and catch these gnats. Outside of the gnats, yo, the next thing that I noticed was the fucking stains. I'm talking, there was stains all over the carpet. They didn't even try to make it look presentable. Mind you, residents had trash just laying outside of their door. No, it's bad because they actually ended up on the news.
The complex's gnat infestation.
A lot of frustrated residents. Yeah. So that one was solved. But after the sprinkler system went off this weekend, many are now concerned about mold and water damage in their building. 11 Alive's Bobeth Yates has more on their latest concerns.
Now fill the hallway of Sky House apartment complex after the fire alarm went off over the weekend, triggering the sprinkler system and causing water to pool in the hallways and elevators.
This apartment complex was so bad, I'm going to have to make a part 2 on it because we got to get into the unalivings and we also got to get into the people being pistol whipped in the parking garages.
Don't come in my comments trying to ride me, trying to lie to me. Don't even play these games this time.
There is an app called Crime Stopper or Crime app. Every last person that is relocating to Atlanta. I don't care if you're going to Cobb, Marietta. I don't care where you're going. I don't care if you're going to Tucson, Arizona. Honestly, you should have this, because the cool thing about these apps, and I'm not getting paid for it, I don't have no incentive, but I used it a lot when I worked for corporate companies that did security, ADT, hint, 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 ADT security. There's a bunch of other companies out there, but I love ADT. Because I learned how to use this app, and when I click the app, or when I open the app, it shows me every last crime that happened in the area. Tells me if it's a high crime area. There's a couple of apps out there that do that. This should be one of your home searching, whether you're looking for a place to buy or a place to rent. It should be a tool that's in your stack, like at your app. You literally, your business, you should have that part of your app. You have a banking app, you have Facebook, you got an AI app that you use, Gemini, Claude, whatever it may be. You need to have a Crime Stopper app, like an app that tells you. I can't drill it in as much as I'm saying right now. It's so freaking important. And you guys really don't realize how important it is, because information will help you make some better decisions.
Guys, because I done seen the tweets, I done seen the threads, I done seen the comments, I done seen y'all agree with this one now. Why are Georgia apartments so disgusting? Why is apartment hunting in Georgia like the most hardest thing ever? Because the apartments are disgusting, and then the amount they're trying to charge you for these disgusting apartments is ridiculous. So we were apartment hunting, we finally found our place, thank the Lord. But oh my gosh, I was viewing places, and there, it would be so nice at the front. You get to, like, not even the back, you get around the corner while they're showing you the place on the little golf cart. Some of them have golf carts, some of them don't. And next thing you know, it's the trash compactors full of trash. It's staying. They're not even upkeeping their apartments. The fence is broken, etc. Like, they're not keeping up with this stuff. Then on top of that, you go to the apartment, it's spiders in the goddamn doorway. And on top of that, not even just the doorway, it's spiders in the tub, in the house. It's bugs. Why would you show me that? And then gonna have the audacity to be like, oh my God, you can get this one, or you can pick out another unit if you want. I'm not picking none of these units, ma'am. No, ma'am, absolutely not. And then on top of that, let me tell y'all how our apartment complex tried us. Our apartment complex, we did not renew our lease. We finally found another place, like I told y'all, and they was like, I'm gonna charge you a $1,500 inconvenience fee because you didn't give us 30 to 60 days notice that you weren't renewing your lease. You made lease. You told me it was gonna expire in 12 months. Okay, so therefore, if I never responded to you and told you that I was renewing my lease, or go to you and say, hey, I would like to renew my lease, you knew that. How am I inconveniencing you? You finna rent the place right back out. Like, what is you talking about? Don't even sit here and try to cap. Then they was like, oh, you also, so we were supposed to move out by the 23rd. They was like, so that's gonna be $2,742 for the month of September. Who finna pay that? Who?
The renewal of the lease portion, every rental that you have, if you have an automatic renewal at the end of it, honestly, when I've dealing with that as an agent, I like to have some level of communication in there, and I would advise you where that lease is just going to automatically renew, and they have to notify you, or you have to notify yourself. I feel like it's a dual responsibility, because if you don't tell them, they will let you stay and they will raise it up, and you have no opportunity to negotiate on it at all. And I feel like that's a dual thing, part 50-50. Like, they should be responsible and I should be, like, because they want me to stay, or they may not want me to stay, but it should be a dual responsibility.
Georgia, I done lost y'all goddamn mind. Don't even come in my comments trying to lie. Somebody tell me y'all experiences, because these apartments has lost their goddamn mind.
Yeah, they are. I live in Atlanta, and when I tell y'all these are 5 places I toured that I would not stay, I lost my voice this weekend from vomiting, from the bar crawl, so y'all bear with me. First off, we got this building right here. Now, y'all may know it as the Hue Midtown, but this is the Icon. First off, if you gotta go to a building and they done changed managements 1,000 times, that shit ain't good. Leave that shit where it at. But this building right here, y'all gonna see that little artwork in Midtown and think, oh, this is a nice building. I toured it, nice as fuck. I was about to stay on the 31st floor. And then 2 weeks later, I seen TikToks about how it's going downhill. Look up the Hue Midtown and read the reviews. I'm telling you, Read them reviews on Google. Y'all gonna be like, oh, fuck no.
Man, yo, regardless, TikTok, people say TikTok is like decaying the brain. I truly believe, yeah, if you go to that part on TikTok, but there's so many pieces on TikTok that will actually give you clear advice on what not to F with. I'm telling you. And if you do not listen, that's your fault. That is really your fault. Now, am I saying everything they say is right? No, I don't believe. But we gather information by listening to multiple perspectives. And then you can really make a good decision. So don't let those people tell you that crazy crap, bro. I'm telling you. I got this from TikTok.
This right here, this one ain't it. It's a scam. It's a scam. It ain't good. I mean, it's a good building, but the elevators barely work. I had to take the stairs a couple times from a high-ass floor. They don't care about the building, bro. Like, it be nasty as hell. The residents don't care. Like, bro, y'all, I tour here? Hell nah. I don't mess with this. This one right here is definitely a scam in disguise. Maybe I just saw a non-renovated unit, but nah, this one, it ain't it. Don't even try to go here. It was a little nice, cheap place. It ain't nice. It was a little cheap place in Ponce. I know I need to get my money's worth. I ain't living here. Don't go here. Now, this one right here had me because I was like, I want to live here. My friend was touring at the time, and I went and toured with him. And then we went in this building, and it was nice, like amenities nice, room nice. They was kind of small, but then my friend said he went back without me, and they took him to tour one of the buildings in the back. Like, this is the nice building they show everybody, but where you actually gonna be living is behind this building. Now, I don't know if you live there, but bro told me, nah, that ain't it.
Did he just say behind the building is where you're going to be living at? You're not living it. So they give you the building, but they hit you with the okie doke? Boy. I'm not calling any names because I don't need none of y'all jokers. I don't need none of these apartment people. I don't need none of these property managers saying, hey, he a broker and he bad mouthing me. Oh, no. Okay, I'm a bad mouth you.
They want to show you the building up front with all the nice people in it and shit. But when you get to the building at the back, it's like, what the fuck? But these are places I ain't living no more in Atlanta, looking to live in. So yeah, y'all do what y'all want with that information. Follow for more.
Imagine living in a luxury apartment building and you find out that there was 37 homeless people living in the empty units and the stairwell in Buckhead, Georgia. And if that still didn't catch your attention, imagine being asleep 3, 2 o'clock in the morning, 9 p.m., 10 p.m., and this is what you hear all times of night.
Have your attention, please. The fire alarm has been activated in the building. The fire alarm has been activated in the building. Please proceed to the nearest exit and leave the building. The fire alarm has been activated in the building. The fire alarm has been activated.
Dang, she multiple nights? Oh, hell no. That has to be, if you think that that's okay, hell no. They should be vacant from the top floor to the bottom floor. I don't know who wants to or will even live. If you're my client and I brought you to that place, hell no. Hell no. You need to call me and say, hey, Leon, which I don't do rentals, but I would tell you. I'll be like, bro, no, hell no. Plus, they had somebody in the hall, too, sleeping in the hall.
Instead of fixing the real issues in the apartment buildings, they did give us these really cute mirrors, but you stay here? I do. You like living here? No. Y'all heard it. A random person just walked by. They don't even like living here. I am back again with another story time, but this time it's about my luxury apartment building in Atlanta, Buckhead, actually. So the most recent events that we.
Oh, if you don't know what Buckhead is where all the money at. Or at least that's what they say the money's at. But I know it's some other places that money's at in Atlanta. And Buckhead to me is overrated in a lot of places. But this is the luxury Buckhead that they're talking about. North end of Atlanta, where Lenox is, Phipps Plaza, just to give you guys context on where that is.
And I hate that I even have to come on social media with this, but it seems like it's the only way that businesses take you serious or pay attention to you. Let me just show you. So right where you see the peeling paint is where I've been having reoccurring mold growth. I've had mold in there like 3 times so far. The ventilation in here sucks. I talked to the senior property management and she advised me to crack my door open to let some of the heat out or, you know, cool down the temperature in my showers. I did that, and then guess what? In my living room, somehow, I ended up getting mold again.
Video got a lot of attention, and y'all was in the comments, and I asked y'all if y'all wanted a part 2, just to leave it in the comments. Number 1 today, Core at Lindbergh Station. Not only is this one of the worst apartments in the Lindbergh area, but they have the worst staff in the
I'm gonna stop before that past video. If you're experiencing that, honestly, they should really come up and treat it. They have to treat that. That's not something. Now, when we get properties and it's got mold, sometimes it can be as much as like demoing all the drywall that's in there and taking it down, gutting it down to the studs. In cases like that, they do have to get this thing called kill, and they have other variants, like versions of that kill. Treat it with the kill and then repaint it. But they got to do something about that ventilation. That air exhaust, look, I sound like a handyman. Look at me. I done dealt with a lot of this crap already. It's not exhausting. Like, it's not pulling the air, the condensation out the air. It's not taking the moisture out the air. That's really what I want to say, the moisture. They got to clean that out. And a lot of people don't understand that you really should have your vents cleaned at least every 6 months to a year, whether you have a house or an apartment. And all that means is they just come in and clean out the ventilation system. More than likely, it's probably not been cleaned. And that's worse. To me, that's bad. That's really bad.
Worst apartment complex in that area. If you like getting your car broken into, this for you. If you like appliances that look like they came from 1982, this for you. It's a high rise where you're going to see a lot of YouTubers, a lot of dancers, a lot of trappers, a lot of track car drivers, and also an apartment where you're going to have to pay the highest premium for renter's insurance. Guarantee your car will be broken into once a month. 15 to 20 minute wait on every elevator. The apartments are small and outdated. They may be close to the mall, but for the price, you can get something way better than this because of all the fraud they get. So if you're looking to get in an easy apartment, you want to live in the high rise and think you stunting on somebody, move to this apartment right here, the Skylark. First opened, this was a very beautiful development, and I thought it was something good that was going on this side of town. But more and more and more, as more of us start moving in there, boy. I took a client here for a tour, and every other neighbor we saw had an ankle monitor on. You 10 minutes from the prison, don't make me start getting on the leasing staff.
Oh, hell no. Aren't they supposed to do background checks before they let people in? And most of these apartment complexes tell you if you have a felony, they won't let you in. I don't know what rule has changed. I kind of believe it's the people at the front desk. Maybe they see a drop in, and so they got to figure ways to make it work. But I'm going to tell you, like it told me, if I see a ankle monitor, when anybody living in that apartment, just randomly, I'm looking for those monitors as I go to visit. I'm looking to see the heathenistic attitude, the YN attitude, like the craziness, because it's not just the people that live there. The people are there because the management allows them to be there. I hate to tell you. And for that reason, oh no. Management, you don't need to be there. You really don't. They don't care about you. They will never care about you. No matter how they switch management companies, if they switch it to people who have the same type of mindset, even though they lied to them and told them they don't think like that. Oh, we have all these rules and things in place. Yeah, we're going to clean the place up. Hell no, they lying. It goes down to the person sitting at the counter. If they down with the YN, if they down with the heathenistic attitude, if they down with the ghetto-ness, guess what? It's coming to a place near you.
Away from here. I really feel bad that I have to do this, but Generation Atlanta. Before we get into the negative, I will say Generation Atlanta has one of the best rooftop pools in Atlanta, hands down. And before all the crazy started moving there, it actually was a nice vibe. But now, one of the worst apartments in Atlanta. On the outside, it's giving luxury. It's really, really nice on the outside. But when you step in there and get off the elevator, it smells like a pack of Newport shorts in a box. Hallways are filthy, carpet is dirty, poor maintenance and leasing team. But then again, if you're looking to get an apartment really with no issues and really, really fast, this one might be for you. Now, if y'all want to see my top 5 places for y'all to live, my top 5 favorite apartments in Atlanta, go ahead and drop it in the comments because I got y'all coming up next. I usually wouldn't do a video like that, but I'm going to give y'all the jewels to the best apartments in Atlanta.
Next incident. One day I come home after working a 12-hour shift. I smell pee all in my apartment. Pee. I don't have any pets. I don't have any kids. I'm walking around. I look in my closet. It is a puddle of dried up dog pee.
This whole shirt is wet and it smells like piss.
How does she know it's dog pee? I mean, I guess, I don't know. I got dogs, but I never said, yeah, I do smell the pee when I clean it up if they peed somewhere. But I mean, distinct urine smell?
That seeped over from my neighbor's apartment building into my closet. But here's the kicker. This is not the first time that an unknown liquid has seeped into my closet. And I've told management multiple times.
Oh, hell. Hell no. See, that's telling me that can't be, the back end must be a bathroom and it must have some type of leak. And if she's experiencing it seeping through that wall, more than likely, the people underneath her have some stains that's showing up in their roof. Now, the worst part about this is they got the stains and they don't even know that it's piss. That's bad. That's bad. They may think it's a water leak. A piss leak and a water leak, different. The end results are going to affect your health, okay? A water leak will affect your health, that's true, because you do get mold. But a water leak? Oh, hell no. Hell no.
I talked with them, I'm like, hey, it's a lot of issues going on in this unit. Can I be moved to another unit and we'll just call it a day, like if y'all can just waive the transfer fee? They said no.
We're definitely trying to get everything taken care of as soon as possible, but as far as the liquids coming in, it's unfortunate that people can't pick up behind their pets or even let us know that they have a pet. So I can, if anything is damaged, I can definitely get them to pay for it. So you just let me know and I'll get it, but I'm already dealing with them on that. They're gonna be
I followed up with them again, I'm like, hey, can you guys reconsider, yada, yada, yada. I'm still in the same unit, and on top of that, the senior property management at the building keeps ignoring all my emails. I've spoken with her multiple times, and each time she's just like, oh, well, when can you meet with maintenance so they can see this mold? As if they haven't been in here for times already to see said mold, and as if everybody doesn't know that liquid keeps seeping over into my closet, and I had to throw away multiple clothing items. So if that didn't catch your attention, boom, homeless people. We often have homeless people in this building. Towards the beginning of the year, there were multiple homeless people living inside of empty units in the stairwell. I got trapped in the elevator about 2 times with homeless people. Yeah. You would just see homeless people laying out like on the stairwells, hanging out in the gym. This is a home.
Oh.
I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I don't care. She's fucking petty as fuck, bro. I don't give a fuck. I don't care.
I'd rather you pray instead of. And if that didn't catch your attention about my partner.
Oh, hell no. Hell no. Hell no. Hell no. Hell no. Remember what I said about peace? Hell no. Hell no.
About my apartment building. A couple of months ago, this person that I know in the building got shot downstairs because the security officer here stole his bed and stuff that got delivered to the package room. And then speaking of the package room, you do have to pay a fee every month, but guess what? Half the time the door is locked and they can't get it open.
Oh my God. The security officer stole. Why do we? That's a big thing. I've started to notice that. There's a hotel in Atlanta where I recently saw that this dude still stole, the valet guy stole the car of the person valeting at the hotel. And he's stupid. It was like some rare type of Bentley or something. Stole it and they found it in Texas, from Georgia to Texas. This is the YN. This is the crazy crap where I said, listen, you got to listen to your piece. You got to realize if your piece is telling you don't do it, it's telling you for a reason. If you have this unsettled feeling, you don't got to know the details. Well, you'll find out probably down the line, but it's good to know. But even if you don't know, follow it, okay? Just, it'll lead you away from that. And probably you'll find out later on why it led you away from that. Because a lot of these people make these situations, jump into these apartments, I personally believe, because Atlanta gives you that flashy hype. Like, you get that from the city. You look at the sky rise and you're like, dang, this is dope. Like, my brother used to live at Terminus. Terminus. Yeah, it is Terminus, right? Yeah, Terminus. Complained and hated it, even though it looked flashy, nice. I would go up there and I'm seeing people just rant. And I'm like, I know this person can't be living here. They always going up and down the hall like random, aimlessly, like they don't know what they're doing. Or they don't know where they're going to.
Also, this might not be a big deal to people, but for my water drinkers that maybe sometimes just want to go fill up their water bottle, all of the water fountain filters here have been on red for months. And even the maintenance people be like, no, I don't drink that water out the water fountain. To which I'm like, why can't I drink the water out the water fountain? But okay. Anyway, a good perk, I guess, is we do have a washer and dryer combo, but the dryer function doesn't work because it's a steamer that just leaves your clothes damp. This is your AC unit. The ventilation here sucks. Your living room will be freezing cold and your room will feel like it's 100 degrees. Wow. Because that is where you're getting your air from. Yeah. Anyways, I'm about to go show you guys the filters. Water fountain 1. This is water fountain number 2. This one has actually been on red since March 2024. Do not drink that, y'all, please, for the love of me. And so we do have these because, once again, remember I told you that our dryers, now that I'm thinking about it, this is a setup. We have our own laundry mat.
Shorty, it's all a setup. And she won't even say, you notice that at the beginning, she didn't say what apartment this was. And I'm pretty sure probably some people can figure it out that notice, that's watching in Atlanta. She didn't put it on blast. She didn't even put it in the comments on the TikTok. She didn't do that. Crazy.
But you do have to pay like $2.50 to $3. So yes, dryer function on your dryer doesn't work, but don't worry, you can come down here. My next door neighbor kept getting attacked by some random white guy who was either breaking into the building or sleeping in the stairwells. She told property management and she was asking them for camera footage, to which they didn't have or they couldn't provide. But they basically was telling us that she was lying, and multiple people on our floor was like, no, we heard her screaming, because he didn't break in there one time. It wasn't 2 times. I think it was about 3 times that he broke in and attacked her. This is all random.
Oh, hell no. Hell no. See, that's the lawsuit right there. That's the lawsuit. Failure to protect the grounds. You're paying them to protect the grounds.
Is it not a safety issue or a hazard when your fire alarm is constantly going off at random times every day, all throughout the night, early in the morning. It's very random. How am I ever supposed to know if it's a real fire if the thing is always going off? Somebody, would you help me?
And here's all our communications since the whole urine incident. I've been reaching out. I've been following up. If you look at the dates, you can see that it's taking them weeks and months to respond back to me. And they're basically just saying, deal with it. I've been more than lenient at this point. And yeah. As y'all can see from the emails, still no response. I keep trying to give them time because I understand, like, I'm not the only resident, but I mean, come on now. All I'm left with now is pissy floors, a moldy unit, and whatever else is wrong with this apartment building. So, yeah.
See, part of me believes that it's the mentality. They look at some people in Atlanta. They look at the overall population. I wouldn't even say some people. I know this because I know what investors think. I've had conversations with them who actually own multi-units. Some people are slaves, and they have a slave mentality, and their mindset is to treat them or just let them continue with that slave mentality. But there are people, and I said this, there are people that aren't, and they get caught up in it. I said exactly that. Slave. They really do. Like slave, think like slaves, act like slaves, so they treat them just like slaves. Can't make it up if I try. I'm telling you the 100% God truth. Shoot. Doggone. Like, subscribe, follow for more content. I'm running over today because, and I'm going to keep rocking with this. I got one more video I want to react on. I want to give you guys all of this that was on my chest, and I have to release. Man, at the end of the day, bro, I keep saying it. If you can't follow your peace, you're going to run into situations that's just going to get you. You're just going to get cut. So there's a mind shift that has to happen. And what I love about this has been taking place probably over the last 2 years. Some people are getting it. Some people aren't getting it. And it's the whole hustle culture mindset. I feel like it hurts us more than it's helping us. Now, I got to talk about it because in real estate, that is the biggest thing that I find with people getting into real estate, wholesaling real estate, trying to be a part of real estate. Oh, I'm this, that. Man, like I went to this networking event, like I said, and some people look like they were down for a hustle. It sounds bad, hustle. But the hustle culture has kind of hurt us a lot. And I don't think it's going to change for a while because there's always going to be people that feel they got to hustle. And when I see hustling, I feel like taking advantage of you so that I can come out better. That just keeps ringing in me. I don't know. But man, hustle culture is kind of killing us, you know? It's kind of killing, it's hurting people big time.
Does anyone else ever need that reminder that God's going to keep working even if you're not? And as someone who pretty much has grown up with a hustle culture mindset, with a go-getter mindset, with a get it out the mud mindset, now as I've entered into my walk with Christ and I'm really learning to trust him, and I'm also learning not to work in my own strength, it's like he constantly has to remind me that even if you say no to one opportunity, even if you choose today not to work, not to push yourself, I'm still working. I'm working in your sleep. And I just know that that reminder is so healing for me, especially as a Black woman who has literally felt like if I don't do it, nobody else is going to do it for me. So when he talks to me and gently reminds me that, hey, even if you're not working, even if you're not productive, even if you're not pushing out all of the content, even if you're not going 110% all of the time, even if you're not working late hours, I'm still working. Now, I recognize that there's a certain amount of effort that we have to put in, but since the beginning of the year, the Lord has reminded me that He is my partner in this thing. He is my business partner. He is my partner in the workplace. He's my partner in my relationships. He is my partner. He is my provider, and He is with me. And just as He is all of those things for me, He is all of those things for you. So I wanted to just remind you guys, in this season of your life, if you've been struggling with this yourself, I know I certainly have. Even if you're not working, He is.
You know, and that's the thing. We forget that even the energy to do what we do comes from God. The breath that's in your lungs comes from God. So the effort, and I'm not an advocate of just sitting down and not doing anything, but the effort to actually do what you do day in and day out comes from Him. So I'm like, okay, why don't I just follow you for the rest of it? You know, that's the way you really gotta think about it and look at it. Why not just follow you for the rest of it? I keep saying it, the hustle culture kind of gives us the whole power and takes the power away from God in doing, because He's already done it. Yeah, Jesus is not dying every day, okay, for you. He's died one time for you, and everything that maintains, the Bible says, to life and godliness is in Him. So if it was done then, why do we keep saying He's going to do it now? And I think it's because we live in the now, so we only can perceive it as He's going to do. But I'm gonna tell you, He's already done. So don't have me say that 5-6 times. I probably have to listen to it myself again. But hustle culture robs you of that. So you're not, if anything, you're thinking more short-term minded, and you aren't thinking long-term minded. You're not planning and saying, if I want to do this, am I willing to do this for the next 5 to 10 years? That's how I'm like when any of the YouTube channels I make, any of the deals I get involved in, even the real estate that I may buy, subject to owner finance. I'm thinking, do I really want to hold this for 5 years? Do I want to hold it 5 to 10 years? If I can't see myself holding that thing 5 to 10 years or doing that thing 5 to 10 years, then I can bet on one or two things. One, I'm trying to hustle to get some cash. And then two, it's going to fail. Like, it's not going to work because I don't have a long-term mindset. I've only got a short-term mindset. And unfortunately, some people in our culture, they see that as nothing wrong. And then they wake up 40 years down, they're 40, 45, 50, and wondering where the time went. It went chasing the hustle, whether it's the job, the hustle, the short little business, that's the hustle, any of those things. The hustle comes in so many different ways.
The culture, man, we gotta stop promoting and idolizing hustle culture. Like, man, like that's 3D, man. Like the Eric Thomases and the David Goggins of the world, man. They're gonna have your nervous system fucked up, man. You know what I mean? When they already broke us, so we don't even never feel comfortable even relaxing. We always feel like we gotta be go, 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 go. And that's getting in your own way. So we gotta learn to be able to rest, to just be. Being is the new doing. Being is the new doing. And you can tag Eric Thomas and David Goggins and tell them I said that, man. Like, they got boys waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning, man. I never sleep, man. All I do is work, man. I hustle, 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 grind, grind, grind. All we do is grind, you know? And that's such an idiotic way to live life, man. Like, you know what I mean? I get where they're coming from, man. But that's old earth energy. That's not trusting in the creator, man. That's not getting out your own way. That's not realizing that your imagination is creating all this shit. Like, you know what I mean? And I'm gonna tell you a secret. If you just imagine something for 17 seconds, if you just focus on the thought for 17 seconds, this is what they're not telling you. If you focus on the thought for 17 seconds, that's worth 2,000 hours. 2,000 hours of physical work on the 3D realm. And so they got you out here hustling, hustling, hustling. What they should be telling you is to get still, get still, get still. harness your mind. You know what I mean? Breathe, allow, let go. Man, let's make that a trend, man.
Babes.
Man, boy spilt it. He cooked it. And if you missed it, then I don't know. But I'm going to tell you one thing. He was talking about imagination. There's a scripture that talks about, you remember the Tower of Babel? You learned it in Sunday school. God comes down and he scatters the people around. They were building a tower that went all the way to the sky. But there was a verse that he said afterwards. He said, anything that they imagined to do, they could do. The imagination has this, and that's one reason why he came down and, based on the scripture, threw everything to the side and scrambled it where they couldn't communicate, because they were endeavoring to build up to the heavens. So that tells you, at the very least, the power of your imagination and you seeing yourself. That's why I keep saying, don't see yourself like it's going to happen. See yourself as it's already done. See, when you can see that, then it makes it easier. When you believe that, it makes it easier to actually see it. Because your time spent, and there's another book, it's written by this guy, Andrew Womack, and it's called The Power of the Imagination. I took that book and I read it and I listened to it and I read it. Andrew Womack, yeah, he's a old white pastor. But he nailed it when I was looking for books having to do with imagination and how to actually, have a biblical approach to it. Like, how does it look? That imagination is more powerful than more people think. But you can't even get into the place of your imagination working because you're always on 10. Like, you're always driving down a highway at the fastest speed. That's what grinding is. Like, you're not looking to the left or right. You're only focused on what you got to do, and that this is where it has to be, and you got to make that money, and it's got to be this amount. And I'm like, dude, you want 5,000 or you need 5. God is trying to get you 10 because you need money to do other stuff, not just pay that bill. Real talk. Take it from somebody that flipped property, wholesale property. I know what I'm talking about. You're always in that repetitive role of, oh, I got to do this. I got to get this deal. I got to get this deal. I got to do that. We got to push it through. Why doesn't this work? Always. Whether you're an entrepreneur, self-employed, a mama, a daddy, it don't even matter. The imagination works because it's not considering who you are or where you are. It doesn't care about the color of your skin. It doesn't care, even in some cases, about the content of your character. It's just like an incubation machine that if you put the right things into it and you focus in the right direction, God gave that to you to create and be the architect of what he wants, what he's already brought into your life, what he's already designed for you to walk in. And I believe, and I've seen this, as I start to meditate on it, I may not see it or even clearly see it initially. I believe he scoops down and gives me the power I need to actually see what he's trying to push through. That's the power of your imagination. But hustle culture robs you completely of it. All these people we idolize and say that they're influence, David Goggin, great things. You don't hear them talk about rest and peace and resting. Resting is the new being. I'm 100% with him on that. 100%. Because we're not saying don't do, but in that resting, you kind of are able to let those internal things click so you can see deeper down in whatever you're trying to accomplish.
If the system could work us 24 hours of the day, it would. Once I understood this, I stopped putting so much pressure on myself to hustle in this culture, like, oh, I got to make it big. I got to get $1 million before 30. I don't give a fuck. As long as I have people around me that love me and I can make some type of income, I'm not worried about climbing no fucking corporate ladder. 90% of the job is you documenting what you did because they're going to try to discredit you sometime in the future. 90% of the job is trying to learn how to outsmart and outwit other people. 90% of the job is you trying to play and fake a role in their made up ass reality. Like, that's fucking draining. And I was watching a video by Justin Scott and he was basically saying, not verbatim, but he was basically saying, you're not lazy. You live in a society that only values you for what you can produce. Mm-hmm. You're not lazy. You live in a society that does not respect your body, that does not respect your need for rest. Like, there's
You have to respect your need for rest. And she's 100% right. We live in a society that does not. They only value us based on what we produce or what we create. That's the production portion. And it's nothing wrong with producing and creating because God created us to create. We, just like him, image and likeness of God. God said it became 7 days. Remember that? Okay. So, since you got that down, we are naturally creators. That's what it is. Whether, I don't care if you're a trash man or if you work the pole for, let's say work the pole, but it doesn't matter. You are still a creator. Yeah, even if you work the pole. And this system doesn't allow you to be a creator. You have to make it allow you to be a creator. You have to force those things. You have to yield to him so he can help you adjust those things so you can stay in that mode of creating, because what you're creating are solutions to problems that people really, really need. If you got the mentality right. We don't hustle to get money. We hustle. We don't even hustle to get money. We don't even hustle. We don't even grind. We look for opportunities to solve problems for people. We're solution-oriented people. Whether you're in real estate, insurance, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. And corporate America doesn't want you. It's not hard. They're not hiring you to solve problems. There are some positions that you solve problems in. That's it. I'm not going to say that it's not, but it's not. It's designed for your energy to be pulled out, extracted, and used for the good of that company. No problem. You're exchanging time for money. People do that. They come into the world. But when we know better, we have to begin to do better. That's the thing about it.
no fucking reason why we should be spending 8 to 10 hours working and then only have like 4 or 6 hours to really like recoup and spend time with our families and eat and just be on our own timing. There's no reason for that. There's no reason why we should be working 5 or 6 days out of the week and only have 1 to 2 days to rest. For a lot of people, their whole weekend is spent resting, sleeping, trying to catch up on the mental depletion that's been happening to them all week. Like, and don't let it be a physical labor job also. It does not make sense, and it's not meant to make sense. It's meant to make profit. So don't ever feel bad for being lazy or feeling lazy. Don't ever feel bad for being fired when you were doing the best you could. Don't ever feel bad about yourself for needing to respect and treat your body like it matters. You know what I mean?
I'm 39, and if I could give any advice, rest. Resting is a strategy. Resting, sleeping, relaxing, meditating, praying. Calm down. Hustle.
And don't feel guilty about it. That's one of the biggest things, I'm telling you. I had to stop it and say, don't feel guilty about it. If you continue feeling guilty about resting, what's going to end up happening is eventually you may start off with that momentum, and you may be on your Chick-fil-A. Say, I'm on my Chick-fil-A. Yeah, I need 5 days work, 2 days of rest, whatever it may be. That will change because guilt and condemnation will put you into a place of saying, I'm not doing enough. And you don't need, now you take the power away from God to do what to bring about what he already wants you to live in, because you're in the mindset, I'm not doing enough. When did you become the author and the finisher of your faith? Last time I checked, that's what the scripture says, right? He's the author, the finisher of our faith, looking unto Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith, who was the joy, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the same, and is seated at the right hand. Come on, let's stop playing. This is the problem I also have with religious people, because you know those scriptures, but you really don't live by it. You don't, and you don't tell anybody else to live by it. You only get on social and you shame them for not working and so doggone hard to make things work. So doggone hard. I've seen people do so many different, I've seen people do deals and it just was easy. It was just a smooth, because they wasn't out there stressing, forcing, pushing it to work. For somewhere, I would say they understood that God brings it to pass. Regardless of how powerful you think you are, you do not bring it to pass. He does. He manifested in your life. Even when you meditate and you think about it and imagine it, he still walks you into it and orchestrates it. You're just lining your mind up with what he said is true. Man, you ain't expect that today, did you?
Culture was probably one of the worst things that happened to my generation. Everybody relax, calm down, read a book, drink some water, go to sleep.
Hustle culture is not biblical. It's not. The Bible preaches against being lazy. The Bible says to work hard, put your hand to the plow, you sow and you reap, so forth and so on. But nowhere do you see where you have to grind till you're dead. That's not what the Bible preaches.
Actually, Paul talks about striving in the New Testament. Striving is the same thing as hustling, like you're trying to make it come to pass. We're supposed to live a grace-led life. And if you don't know what that means, I'm going to tell you simply the best way I can explain it is God has already completed all these things. By grace, his unmerited, abounding provision in every area of your life, not based on how you act, not based on how perfect you are. Remember I said it's not based on your action. It also means your behavior. And I'm not telling you go out there and do some crazy stuff. That's not saying, because you will get arrested if you do crazy stuff. Oh, no. If you think that means you can do whatever you want to do, you figure it out and you will find out. But within common sense, you got to understand that you put forth effort and there is something that comes from that effort. But when you put forth striving, meaning you're stressed, and you know, some people know when they're at that point. They're stressed. Me, I know. Like, I tense up and I get stressed out and I'm always thinking about this. I have to identify when my work goes from being something that's pleasurable, that's entertaining, that I enjoy doing, and it turns into automatically like, I got to get this done. If I don't get it done, oh my God, this is going to happen. That's going to happen. No, that's not it. You're completely meditating on the wrong thing. That's why he says it's not biblical, and I agree.
Matter of fact, the wisest man in Scripture, whoever lived, the richest man in Scripture, whoever lived, says the opposite. He says, there is a man who has neither son nor brother, and there is no end to his toil. Yet his eyes were not content with his wealth or his riches. To whom am I toiling for? For what reason am I working, is what he says. Why am I depriving myself of enjoyment? This too is meaningless. It's chasing the wind. It's miserable stuff, y'all. This idea that I have to grind my way to get, no. If God's called you to something, then he will also perform it. Yes, you work as if unto the Lord. Yes, you put your hand to the plow, but God does not need you to kill yourself in the attempt.
That's why that scripture, I said, grace, unmerited, that means unearned, abounding provision in the unrestricted operation of God's infinite love. If he loves you as a child, he's going to provide for you as a child. He loves you. If you don't believe he loves you, then that's a different conversation. I mean, I don't know, but that's a different conversation.
Not of God. That's not his intent. God's arm isn't too short. Work hard, be consistent, and enjoy your life. Grinding is not of God. Not the way y'all do it, at least.
I would say not the way y'all do it. Check this comment out. Being a workaholic can become like an idol. Ain't lying. You idolize work, and an idol is simply anything you put before God. You'll rather do that than chill out and talk to him on a deck, or get some lemonade. God, Lord, and just walk and talk and share, because you feel you need to be right here doing these things, right? And the only way it's going to happen is if I'm doing it. Yeah, he said you sacrifice your health and relationship and only feel good when you're being productive. That's when you don't feel good. Matter of fact, you don't let your feelings of good productive activity or not good productive activity guide you. That's emotional intelligence. We're not led. A lot of times you don't even need, it's not a 4-year degree that gets you where you need to be. A lot of times I tell people it is your emotional intelligence that gets you there. Knowing when you've gone too far, knowing when what to say and what not to say, what to do and what not to do, how to discern a situation. That's emotional intelligence. And we're putting some situations, I believe, in order to develop that level of emotional intelligence. And it supersedes a lot of times the people who are like highly intelligent and have all these miraculous degrees. And I'm like, gosh, they know a lot, but they miss that one thing, the people aspect. And that one thing is actually 85-90% of it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So your feelings, because people deal with feelings, people live in feelings, right? You're not able to recognize those in others because you haven't even started recognizing it in yourself, like when to push on the gas, when to pull up on the gas. It's almost like driving a car. It is like driving a car. When to push up on the gas, pull up on the gas. I wouldn't get in a stick shift car and keep it in first gear. Some of y'all who know how to drive stick shift, most people don't know how to drive stick shift. This is the younger me. Learn how to drive it early. It's a fun thing to learn to drive. But you wouldn't stay in first gear the whole time. You would shift to second. You would pull off and go into third. Then you would drop down into second, and you would listen and be sensitive to how the engine's responding. Are you pushing it too hard? Do you need to lax up and let it just ride in second gear? And it's going to hit a certain spot, and then you can shift it into third? Do you need to go the whole time in first? Yeah, you probably need to go to second. Or you might need to stay in first. These things are episodes and spaces of discernment. This is how we discern. The Bible talks about discerning the time, the date, the future, like what's going on right now, discerning the times. I think it's in Revelation somewhere. Yeah, that's how we discern it. Emotional intelligence, man. But true rest is important. We're meant to rest in God, not just work nonstop. And that's the dopest thing. That is, to me, that's the thing that we gotta get. Okay, it says, okay, I slept. Man, shout out to Black Jelly Bean. I appreciate your comment, Black Jelly Bean. I love that name. It's funny. I slept on TikTok at first, but once I tapped in, I realized it's a gold mine. If you know how to feel to know us from the value. Either way, it's all about what you let in or let hit. I agree. It is all about what you let in and let hit, you know? You guys are great over at TikTok. Appreciate it. Thanks for sharing, man.
Another thing I want to say, I've been wanting to talk about this for a hot minute. Hustle culture is fucking insane and toxic. I don't care. You're mad at me because I don't want to work 5 jobs? What? Could tell me I'm wasted potential. Me? I ain't wasting shit. Bro told me I'm wasted potential because if he had the subscribers I had and the following I had, he would be spam posting every day. I get it, but it's a good thing you're not me, buddy. Money does not drive me. I do content and stuff.
You know what's so funny? He's talking about what she should be doing based on his perspective, but his perspective didn't get him to where she is. You get what I'm saying? His perspective and how she should handle her content and handle the people in her audience base, she got there because she handles it the way that she handles it. You saying, oh, if I was you, I would do this. No, if you were me, you probably wouldn't have even been there. And that's how we got to look at this information, because we keep seeing people do all these things and we want to change our lives and adapt our lives. Oh, they did this, I'm going to go do it. Oh, they did this, I'm going to go do it. And now you get into this crazy space of doing all these different things. And you're not even doing the thing. I feel like that's part of hustle culture, because you think, I'm going to just do this, but you're not really doing the thing that God called you to do or he wants you to do. You're not living in your full purpose. You're not maximizing your gifts, your talents, your ability. And that's why lack sometimes comes in. People say it. They don't, because we're doing these menial jobs or these menial things. Now, I'm not against menial jobs. Don't get it twisted. You're talking to a person that was a sky cap in college till I realized the manager fired me. The owner of the company fired me. I'm like, why you fired me? Well, I wanted you to help me sell my house. So we were facing foreclosure, bro. But that was my purpose. My purpose was to help him out of the gifts and talents of selling that I learned. If I was just grinding in that job along with 3 other jobs, I would probably say, oh, you fired me. I got 2 other jobs. I'm going to go do that thing. Him helping me do it at that point in time, that was 26 years ago. It laid the foundation for me in real estate. So I was able to get money, my very first deal.
Like that because I want to, but this not even about me. This conversation not even about me. Money does not drive me. Yes, I'm blessed and thankful that I'm able to pay my bills, doing what I'm doing. Never will take that for granted. But why does money drive everybody? They want the new this, new that. Hey, that's good for you. Like, I think it's good to want to reward yourself for things and work hard. But why is that all that you care about? I will never understand that. And I get some people come from less fortunate households and they want to just give themselves things and give their family things that they never could afford. But this not even about y'all. It's like niggas out here working 6 jobs, scamming, robbing, doing all this. You have no free time. Do you have any hobbies? Do you care? How your mental health going, dude? That can't be good for your mental. There are other things more important than money for you to just be on go, go, go all the time. And I really think about those type of people who are constantly outside working, because in their mindset is hustle, hustle, hustle. This is a hustle? This is not hustling. This is torture, dude. You gotta relax, bro. Go to the spa.
You know, and I what she said also, I believe a lot of people wouldn't scam if they understood this. Yeah. Some of y'all would just scam regardless of understanding it because you just got that nature. That's what you want to live by. But some of the people wouldn't. They wouldn't make those bad decisions, you know, to do things that have those effects. It wouldn't. When you place money as your God, you do some of the craziest things. In hustle culture, cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money, dollar bill. It came out of that. Like that desire, that distress that you felt, the dis-ease that you felt. It came out of it. And it's still there. You know, for a lot of people, it's still there, man. And I don't bash people. If you are in that hustle culture and you're hustling, this is not to bash you and to tell you, oh, you're evil. You're not going to do this. I don't believe that. I believe you make those small changes, incremental changes, little by little, and then you start seeing those things. So you may need to just say, how do I, and I'm always a practical person. I'm like, I see it. How do I actually get there? You might need to say no to some things sometimes. And it may be saying no to a second job. It may be saying no to that business hustle. Give you an example. We got the World Cup coming to Atlanta. I know a bunch of people going to be on the corner selling shirts and t-shirts. I'm not saying don't do that. But you might want to make it more than just me selling a t-shirt on a corner. You might want to build a business off of it. Or it might take you coming out at certain times and bouncing after a certain time. You're not staying the whole day trying to make $1.15. Hey, my opinion.
I just want to say hustle culture is going to be the downfall of this generation because there is no reason why I should have to work 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 different jobs to provide one roof over my head, but then I don't even get to enjoy the roof or the fruits of my labor because I have to work all these jobs just to keep up with it. Something's got to give.
Hustle culture is canceled. It's done. It is done. Let me tell you something. Diddy told us not to sleep. They told us sleep when you die. Sleeping is close to dying.
My man, come on. I ain't gonna stop him right there. Keep
told us all this crazy stuff and it got us sick.
Now, Diddy told you, right? They said Diddy told you. Diddy told you. Wu-Tang told us. Who else? Diddy, Wu-Tang. We got this through a generation. You got to look at this. We got it through a generation. It's in our music. It's in our videos. I believe the best thing that you can do is control the things that go through your eyes and your ears in abundance. Now I said abundance. That sounds so official, right? But yeah, because it's washing your brain. It's brainwashing you. Why is that important? Because where your brain is focused at, your brain will go. If your brain is cash rules everything around me, cream, get the money, dollar bill, that's all your brain is going to think about. Now it becomes an idol. And it's sad because we idolize these people with this misinformation and we don't address it in the culture, and it becomes part of the fabric of the culture. And then we wonder why we're stressed and we feel a certain type of way. Could it be that the thing that you were programmed in the 90s, in 2000? And I'm just talking to the later me. I'm talking to the earlier me who did all of this, who played woo, who played like every last hustle. Every day I'm hustling. Every day I'm hustling. You got to realize I was in an Audi leaning back. Every day I'm hustling, bro. I'm telling you. Because every day that's all it was about. So the programming of my mind had effects on different areas of my life. But I looked up to those people, right? You like, they doing it. They doing it. They can't be wrong. Then you wonder why some of the rappers and these, not just the entertainers, but more the rappers that we listen to that made the songs are broke. Like, they have no money. Sometimes some of them have money. We know the ones that do. You could tell. Like, you know the ones that are in, like, they're settled. Like the Chris Browns, like they pretty much have a strong name. But the ones who were like money, woo, man.
Hustle culture is dead. Right now, it's about mental health. Right now, it's about forgiveness. Right now, it's about purpose. Right now, it's about being aligned and fine-tuned to who God made you to be. No more hustling, man. No more hustling. There's a Bible scripture that says this. It says that strife and hard work is for the wicked, but for the believers it's peace, it's love, it's purposeful. Jesus said this, right? Let me tell you what he said. He said that, take on my burden. He said, my burden is light. It's light. No more hustle culture. No more hustle. We're done with that, yo. We're done with it. I was a part of it. I was a victim. Hi, my name is Dario Philippe. I was a victim of hustle culture. I'm not going to name no names because I don't want to get in trouble. All that motivational stuff, y'all know who I'm talking about. These motivational speakers that's like hustle, sleep when you die. Be very careful with these people because they've been lying to us. They've been lying to us. You need rest and peace. Your body needs to rejuvenate. I've got the Whoop Watch right now to show you how committed I am to this. This is a Whoop Watch. This is a health watch that takes care of, that monitors my sleep. It monitors my heart rate. It monitors my state of mind. It monitors everything that I do. I have to make sure I sleep. I'm not working 12-hour days. I'm not doing that no more. I'm not hustling like that. I'm sleeping. I'm eating the right foods. I'm keeping love around me. I'm spending time with my wife and my children, and we're enjoying ourselves. We're taking trips. We're going out, and they don't got to be expensive trips. So I know some of you guys like, I don't have the money to go to expensive. I don't have money to travel. You could travel down the street. You can go to the local hotel. I live in South Florida. You can get a hotel for like $100 for one night, for one weekend. Don't got to be expensive. I'm spending time with people that love me and I love them. I'm reading books. I'm hopping in the pool. I'm enjoying my life because life is a process. Listen, you are where you are right now. It's not because you're a failure. It's not because you're low. It's not because you're incapable. You are where you are right now because you are in your own process. This is where you are supposed to be, and you won't always be there. So listen, remove resentment, remove pain, remove failure, remove fear. You are right where you're supposed to be. Enjoy yourself there. Love yourself. Talk to yourself like you talk to other people. How you inspire people, you inspire yourself now.
Get into your identity. Get into your identity. And I wish I could have started with this, but this is true. Get into your identity. When you understand truly who you are, and I'm not talking about my family comes from Africa, my family comes from New Zealand, Poland, all these places. No. Who you are as a human being of this earth. Get into your identity. Man was made in the image and likeness of God. When I'm in that identity and that purpose, because in my identity is my purpose. When I'm in my identity, in that pocket, it's almost like if you play football, you're the quarterback. You don't have to like move on every play. Like even if the play is there and y'all say we running this play, you can call an audible because you're in your identity. And in your identity, you will see more things happen and you will watch and see it transpire and be able to move around it, adjust it, not get caught up in all the things that come with it because you are in that space. You're in that space. Don't give yourself excuses. I can't do this because I don't work. I don't have enough money to do that. The coolest time I had, one of my best spring breaks, was literally going down to the Beltline just about every freaking day with my dog, my wife. Don't tell me you put your dog before your wife. No, I put my wife first. But it was the fact that I had my dog with me. That was great. And my wife, she's with me anytime. Every time she's with me, even without the dog, I feel great. That's a good way you cleaned it up. But at the end of the day, just walking that Beltline for a couple of hours, I did that on a spring break. We didn't go anywhere. We didn't spend no money. We said we're not spending money. We're going to keep it. We're going to do this because we got missions and things we want to do. So how do we use our energy in the most profitable way? How do we now rest in this? It was, I never saw so many businesses. I sampled all different types of vendors and foods down there. I got a chance to chill and talk to my wife, spend some quality time. I got a chance to get toned up and see the different transitions from one part of the Beltline to the other part of the Beltline. Got a chance to ride some electric scooters. All these are great things which helped with my mental health. It's different for every person. It may be a park for you. It may be whatever it may be. It is what it is. But you have to come to the place of admitting that this thing that we've been taught and given isn't true. It's a lie. It's a scam. And it's probably the deepest scam that has affected Black America. It affects everybody, but I'm Black, so I'm going to talk to my people. Yeah. And it's kept us, a lot of us, from entering into our purpose because our mind is so money focused and it's so hustle focused. And then it becomes so depressing because you're like, I'm not doing nothing. I'm not moving. Hey, you need to be still and just know that God is God, bro. In every circumstance and situation, God is God. I'm telling you. And when you let him be God, we literally stop this culture that's killing us. And if we don't watch it, it will hurt our children. And if we don't monitor our life, we won't see the existence. You can make, what profits a man to gain the whole world, but to lose his soul? Like, subscribe, follow for more content. I literally went 2 hours today, and I was not planning on doing that. I just wanted to, sound like this. Shout out wherever you guys are at. I want you guys to know that God loves you just the way that you are. Forget about what these people got to say to you. Keep rocking, keep winning. Appreciate everybody that commented on this. Listen, bro, I am out. Y'all be blessed. I see y'all on Wednesday.